This is gonna be a long one. Good. But before we start, I want to highlight a comment in the last video by Yorha42s, who has been a very consistent commenter, so good on them. But anyway, so it's gonna be on screen, but here's what they have to say. First thing, few things. During the first conflict, Marcus and Brock were strangling each other pretty evenly. Remember, Marcus had shot legs, his arms are as strong as always. This says something about his physical prowess, if nothing else. We'll elaborate more in part 5.0. Looking forward to what you'll have to say then. But yeah, Marcus is in peak physical condition, most likely. Especially since the guy has, a treadmill in his gaming room, implying that he exercises even when he's gaming. So I wouldn't be surprised if he could take Brock in a fight when he, the bar scene would probably be very different if his legs were fine. Anyway, next thing they said, Dor called Kevin a blank body, even though he knows he has a name. Bit of personality establishment, with Dor absolutely hating Supernatural. It doesn't matter if the corpse with Vitae has a name or not. It's a vampire, therefore it deserves final death. Yeah, good point. I'm honestly kicking myself that I didn't notice that last episode. And the fact that Boy insists on saying Kevin's name should tell a lot about his, own perspective of the supernatural. So yeah, this is character consistency as well, and building up further what they added in previous episodes. Anyway, worn fatigue, worn fatigue military clothes, usage for daily chores. Spoils a bit about his relationship with his old family legacy. Yeah, so there's a double pun there, pretty good. Theories on Matilda's tribe were Hearthwarmer, Bone Gnawer, Black Fury, or Glasswalker. Nobody expected Red Talon. Yeah, Matilda is a very unusual Red Talon. And I'll probably go more into the ways when we get back to her. But yeah, thank you for reminding me of all the theories. The only one that really stuck with me is Glasswalker, either because Jambles is one, or because it was the most common one. Remold likely hunted a cabal of bear gangrel rather than werebears. He was vulnerable to delirium, which activates when witnessing the war form, not just werewolf transformation. Considering that lore-wise, Anansi Lillian forms also inflict delirium. So yeah, I always considered him as fighting regular bears, considering Brockham's dialogue, but it could be that Brockham never saw them transform, and they were gangrel. Also, Remold is going against the whole Arcana members don't hunt thing, but he's probably influential and powerful enough that he can get away with it. All merch ads are canon, true. Even the extension Last Day notices. Guy Chapman's owned one Plevin plush straight from the Regent, and he hasn't seen her in almost a year. Which means, honestly, come to think of it, it could mean a few things, like I said in my comment response to him. It could mean that Guy Chapman, that the plushies just were made a while before they were released to the public. It could mean that the Regent sent Guy a plush without giving him blood, or that there was a meeting with the Regent between, Kevin, after Kevin first gave him blood. Could also be a reminder, bit difficult to say which it is at the moment. Leaning towards the third of those, honestly. With Matilda being so nice to Kitten, there was the chance that his cat name and even obvious cat hairs on his hood, she could have assumed he is an unturned feline kinfolk, hence her laughing a bit when he said he is a hunter. Another good point, a lot of people IRL think Kitten's a kinfolk, so can see why she would. So thank you, Yorha42s, for your comment.
Family, I am
Hello.
returned.
Ah, Sadi. Welcome home.
Status report.
Oh, mate, I just got some scones out the oven here.
Ooh, bread.
I was just about to get mopping while they sit.
Establishment of part of the episode's premise, though be it a minor one.
As for the others, Door's out in the thicket testing those big guns. Marcus is in an...
Big guns, foreshadowing, I think, of the M60s. Oh, no, wait, no, the M60s were established in the last episode. Getting confused with them in, watch order. So, I would say the, just establishing them, installing it, I guess, or reference.
Coma, and Boy is upstairs.
preparing for a hunt or passed out in stupor. Clear examples of my powerful tutorship.
Marcus is sleeping on the floor and,
Still proud of him.
reflexively punches me when I try to lift him up.
Yeah, like, Kitten and Marcus are probably gonna be one of those couples that might end up having to have 2 separate beds, which isn't a criticism, by the way. Some people just have various sleep issues that require them to sleep in different beds. Not anything bad or anything, potentially, though could cause difficulties, but still, if you have to, you have
It's
to.
my son.
Or he'll put me in a sleeper hold.
So protective.
One time he sleep power bombed me.
I love him.
Living with you lot is like if wrestling was real.
Yes, wrestling. It is definitely not real. Don't look into it.
A reference to Pentex's pro wrestling thing.
I have something for you.
I think it was Pentex, at least.
Goodbye.
For me?
Yes, here you are.
Oh, what is this?
A new blender.
Oh, goodness gracious, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, this one looks complex. This must have been a fortune. Where'd you steal it?
Steal? Come now.
Yeah, Kitten first assumption
I
is
bought
that
it
That's the
stealing.
first.
at the 99p store.
You what?
Yep.
But it doesn't feel 99p.
They don't call me the Duke of Discounts for nothing.
You told me they called you that in prison.
Yes, and many cigarettes had to be and skulls broken into my for hours.
Were they at least bad people?
Probably not.
Most of them.
Right, won't pry anymore. But this blender! Wow!
Wow.
What do all these buttons do? There are like 15 of them.
Wow.
They don't
Establishing that, yes, this is what it really looks like. This isn't like just low resolution or things. No, this blender really looks like
have
that.
any markers on them. They're all just blank?
Blank
I am
bodies.
sure they blend things.
Wait, why are all the blades shaped like a biblically accurate ophonym?
No clue, but it sure gives new meaning to the term cutting edge.
Actually,
Sure
the entire
does.
blender looks kind of low resolution. Okay, sorry, that makes no sense. I mean, it's an object, but it just looking at it, it looks kind of blurry and undefined somehow.
Please stop complaining about the blender. I'll have to do a nightmare pit to procure.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I don't mean to
Nightmare
complain.
pit.
I just think it's wait, pit
Yes,
Just casually brought that
in
up.
the 99p shop.
yes.
Kinda shows just how much do you trust Kevin.
suppose.
Sorry, Kitten, I mean. And I think this episode is incredibly important regarding their relationship. Can do
What
how.
you pay for?
Yes, the fucking yes, the fruits of humanity, son-in-law, a multiverse of purees, now in the palm of your hand. I cannot wait to see what glorious omelet you might cook in this.
Can't wait. We'll get to blending when we, get back from the chapter house. Oh, speaking of, Dawes restored the wall, filled the trap hole, mined the field.
Ever the troubleshooter, that door.
The way things are going, everything will be patched up in time for the chapter house trip. Can't wait to leave our HQ for a bit, even if it's for Yarmouth.
Oh, eager to get back in the field?
More the opposite. Being chased through my house by a bloodthirsty beast
Also, I do kind of like how casual their dialogue is. It shows how close they
has
are.
had me a bit on edge.
And this is showing some of the consequences of the hunter lifestyle.
Just-
Like, so far we've seen a lot of it physically and financially, but this is showing some of the psychological results of it.
Being here where it occurred is kind of uncontrollably anxiety-inducing.
Ah, yes. I forgot you're less acclimated to the lifestyle.
Is it possible to
Yeah,
acclimate
less
to
acclimated, D referring to that.
almost being killed in your own home?
It's a gradual process.
That's disconcerting.
Hold no worry. You'll find that sleeping in the blood of your enemies is fantastic for your mental health.
Those bloodstains in the cellar have actually had me tossing and turning quite a bit.
bloodstains in the cellar is also foreshadowing for something happening later in this episode.
The life of a hunter has little comfort to offer, I fear.
Yeah.
But I give you my word.
It's not easy. Not sure if it's like worse in World of... Well, actually, no, Chronicles worse, because then you have a chance of turning into Jason Voorhees if you lose your mind as a hunter.
So long as we are under this roof, I will do all in my power to protect you.
Nice.
That's assuring, Sadi. Thank you. Since the bobbies didn't do any cleaning, maybe you could help me rinse those stains out?
Pressure washer time!
Pressure washer!
This is wicked vitae we're talking about. And the pressure washer's already loaded with holy water. Let's head for the woodshed.
Why is it in the woodshed?
To hide it from the cops.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, pressure washers, as far as I know, aren't illegal in England.
I won't have the Norfolk police adulterate my Sophian holy water with their post-Nicene grease.
Now, I know that in World of Darkness, the Catholic Church was a Clan La Sombra thing, or at least a vampire thing, to control the rising tide of Christianity. So that's probably why Dee prefers pre-Nicene practices.
My mind is limited in what it can figure. Actually, speaking of bobbies, before he collapsed on the carpet, Marcus mentioned something. Do you have contacts within the local police force or something?
Oh, he met with the Chapman guy, did he?
I guess. He met an officer who claimed to be working with you. Same who was at the well station. Another hunter, it seemed.
Yes, he's the officer who interrogated us.
Doesn't mention that he's a
Also
ghoul,
a new friend of mine.
or that he's hanging out with Kevin, though he does mention the new part, which is important, basically telling Kitten that he's only come into contact with him recently.
He's been covering things up for us. It's probably why we ought to return to the house so soon.
Goodness. That's great, actually.
It is. So, if you see him around, be only marginally worried. He's an ally.
I never thought you'd make friends with a copper.
And I never thought they'd let me back into the Holy See. Now, pressure washer time.
Basically implying that he had some problems with the Pope in the past.
Right, good.
And this is how Big D transformed into an archer-class servant.
Might be something worth mentioning to Boy. He is, a bit paranoid as of late.
Yeah, basically establishing how some of the horse stuff affected him, since obvious that's what it's from.
Smells consecrated. Ah, yes, and boy, that's not too surprising.
I'm a tad worried. He hasn't slept soundly since the Piotr thing, and especially for an 11-year-old, that's quite bad.
Yes, the 11-year-old mind does need its 3 hours of daily rest, unlike the adult brain.
As of late, he's
That
been...
belief is, yeah, here's the horse part, and yeah, that belief is weird, even for any point in human history.
madly rambling about horse.
I am aware.
I think his lack of sleep mixed with the absinthe he's been chugging to and fro has led him to believe that horse is a vampire or a demon or something.
That rapscallion. I remember sneaking into my grandfather's wine stash as a lad. I mean, it is quite normal for a newly awakened hunter to experience delusional nadirs. The boy was better primed than most. He is only an 11-year-old man. His world has surely collapsed in on itself.
Yeah.
It would
Definitely the tragic part of it. Yeah.
take time for him to find himself in this new paradigm, but that does not mean we cannot help him find his way.
Oh yeah? How?
Moratorium time! No more drinking!
Oh, thank God.
Psychedelics and cigars only!
I'm...
Yeah, Dee's still fine with a child having psychedelics and cigars, even if he's saying no more drinking for now.
That's not much better.
But it is better.
Arguably?
I've never lost an argument in my life. Checkmate! Let's go! Pressure water, get!
Okay. My noggin's pounding.
Oh, but the pounding has yet to begin. We haven't even broken into the Arcanum yet.
Do we have to break in? Can't we just knock? Cool.
So this is going to clear up some stuff. Sorry, so if you're watching this in chronological order, this serves as establishment of the plan that they're going to go through when they get there to get into the Arcanum. If you're watching it in order of when it's released, this is basically a sort of foreshadowing.
Send a letter?
Or rather, establishment, not foreshadowing, establishment of the plan they're going to have.
Son-in-law, you know full well we would sooner be subject to sniper fire than be let in again.
Probably knowing Remel.
Yeah, ancestral blood feud and all that.
Yep, either establishment or reiteration.
Surely listen.
Would he though?
If he heard there was an imposter in the chapter house, yeah.
Notice how this is exactly the same line D uses. Imposter in the chapter house. Just replaced was with is. So yeah, D got the idea for that line from Kitten.
I think he'd let us in.
We will still need to get through Remeld. Breaking in is our best bet. Even if he were to accost us before we can get to Arkham, he will have to face us in hand-to-hand combat.
I'm just gonna lug around my spear the whole time, I think.
Yes, that would be funny and good. Especially given the presence of that Black Law hooligan. Oh, and that ghoul Kevin told me about.
Goodness. The prospect of one of our own being a traitor is frightening.
It certainly is.
Yeah, and we can see here in the performances, which are amazing, just how affected by this Kitten is.
But without our skills, that ghoul might jeopardize all the hunters in Norfolk. You got the cellar keys, by the way.
Sure, yeah, just a...
Establishing some stakes back there.
Shit. Open!
I love locks! Conceptually, anyway.
Watch the second step.
Yeah, implying that even D was frustrated by how long it took.
Well, there's still something horrifyingly slippery down there.
Wait!
What?
Hear that?
Raising of the stakes. Something is in the house with them.
Vermin.
Bloody hell, we got rats again? Oh, that's one large rat. Oh no, we've got to hide all my old scones.
Caution, dear lad.
Caution?
You do remember what we talked about, right? About vampires and their helpers not bound by the night. Our corners and our walls might be subject to their rule. Caution, dear lad. This could be a ghoul.
What? I mean, really? Are you serious?
I do not delegate poetic whims to mere jest, son-in-law. This is now a hunt.
Oh, goodness gracious.
We can't possibly locate it like this. We'll scrounge forth the tools necessary to destroy this noxious beast.
Oh, we have to kill it?
Come, we must get the ear trumpet.
Trumpet? For listening through the walls?
Of course. Quickly and quietly. It should be in the random shit vault.
Kinda like how they have that. Considering all the stuff D probably has, there's, gonna be a lot of that stuff.
The old stilt storage.
That's the spice. Tactical retreat!
Oh boy. Sir, we've only briefly talked on ghouls in the past.
Of course. Delicious omelette.
Can we talk a bit more in-depth on them as a quarry?
Oh yeah, talking about in the omelet, and yeah, like, very relevant considering how they might be going after ghouls.
Put it like that. How could I not? I'd actually been meaning to, I have something secret and highly sensitive to divulge to you and only you.
Certainly.
No way. Wemby rookie card. Gem Mint.
Sweet cravings, midday rewards, late night treats, for ice cream parfaits.
The ear trumpet should be with the ear muffs and the ear vacuum and the ear jar, wherever those are.
Not the ear jar.
Whilst we look, let us get some ghoulish gossip going.
Yes.
Right.
Ghouls.
Would you mind if I...
Ghouls are one of those things that works roughly the same in Vampire the Requiem as they do in Vampire the Masquerade. There are some differences, but by and large, they're not that different.
I wrote stuff down?
That is certainly a better use of your time. Leave the trumpet sleuthing to me!
I'm just going through my old notes on ghouls here. Blank body serfs. Mortals grown addicted to blank body ichor. They serve their masters with impassioned devotion.
Considering how old some kindred is, serf is a very fitting term, though I think slave might be a bit more... Well, actually, thinking on it, there are lots of different relationships between vampires and ghouls. Generally speaking, I think slave would be a better term for it than serf, but there are probably exceptions out there.
They carry a, quote, whisper of a blank's abilities, quote, smatterings of blank body magics. They can act as spies, reporting breaches in the code of silence that blank body under societies impose. That's all I've got.
Canny summation of the ghoul vassal, if I do say so myself.
Nice.
Like the bog, your brain yearns for more to haplessly sink into its depths.
The ball goblin?
For sure, sink away. You could liken me to the Norfolk Broads.
Wow, wasn't expecting such vulgar humor out of you, son-in-law.
You what? Oh, no, I meant, you know, I like Norfolk's the wetlands.
Did you dig grows ever deeper, ever more moist? Get out, quickly, quickly, you'll sink.
All right, what I'm trying to say is, I've been in it for a bit now, and I do try to follow your example with practical learning, but I love theory.
You do.
I cannot get away from the fact that I love theory.
Which is probably why Kitten was, well, very happy in the Arcanum. They would do a lot of theory
So
stuff,
I just
think.
want to pick your brain a bit. It might help us with spying some clues that can help us spot the ghoul easier.
Your wisdom is vast. Allow me to
And I kind of like Kitten's casual tone here. That's a very good performance from his actor.
rip my brain forth and present it to you, warts and all. You have officially entered Ghoul School,
Nice.
dear student. And your first lesson? Well, I'll let you plan your own curriculum.
Pretty good way to do it, I guess.
Letting the vampires drink each other for power scenario?
Marcus would love to do that too.
We'll talk about that.
And they will. This is a bit of deflection from thee, but also foreshadowing, because they genuinely will talk about that Marcus topic.
Ooh, I found my old humor extractor.
Right, Grant.
Nice, that looks cool. I wish I had one. Don't know what humors I'd extract with it, but it's pretty cool.
And so then, I have a...
Actually, come to think of it, that looks like some medical device from the early modern period or Middle Ages. Considering how D says old, like it's something he had and used, and not some historical artifact he got, more evidence of his age.
First subject, just laying out the basics.
Topic 1. How is a ghoul created and what is their role?
How is a ghoul created, and what is their role?
For our purposes, a ghoul is simply a living thing that has drank vampire blood.
That's it? What about the whole blood slave angle?
A ghoul is not necessarily a serf, nor even a regular vitae drinker. What's more, the word is actually something of a slur in origin.
What the hell? We're referring to them by a slur name, Sir D?
Yes,
And Kitten is very concerned about that, which honestly should generally show his kindness.
there's several different kinds of hells, too.
What?
The term
Accurate.
ghoul stems from the imbalanced power dynamic between them and their domitors. A vast gulf hewn out by the vampiric elite. Whilst derisive, it is the standardized term for non-vampiric vitae drinkers, even among the more progressive of their kind. And so far, I've never heard a ghoul use any other moniker.
In our ignorance, I suppose we'll have to settle for it?
Things will change once we mass evaporate enough of the vampire elite. I assure you.
But
Yeah, things would if you killed enough of them.
I'd still assume a ghoul has a particular...
Just hope that the guys who replace them aren't basically them, but smaller.
role in vampiric society, yeah? You framed them as the vamp's eyes and ears during the day, helping prevent the truth of their existence from being discovered.
This is true of many ghouls, but not all. They're the servant class of the vampires. Greater than us kind in their estimations, but still decidedly subordinate and inferior. As such, they can perform many menial tasks for their dormitors. Spies, guardians, butlers, custodians. Some even have no true purpose to their power-broking schemes, and are kept merely as trophies, pets, or companions. So?
Yeah, like some vampires might ghoul a mortal lover to keep them from, say, becoming like a vampire and having to go through all that sort of crap, while still being able to keep them with them forever. It's still an evil action. Ghouling is definitely heavily unethical unless you avoid giving them the blood bond. But it can be benevolent. Ironically enough, some of the worst things vampires do aren't necessarily because don't necessarily have ill intentions behind them. Like a vampire turning someone else into a monster to save their life. See that, Hollywood Anarch Baron in VTM Bloodlines.
Wait, does someone who earns a wage have a particular role in our society? It's the same answer.
Is that an apt comparison?
Yes! Much like the peasant class, they are defined by their exploitation by blood-sucking vampires.
Ah, like me old manager.
You get it! The difference is that ghouls, too, suck. A horrid, awful example is a ghoul we hunted 11 years ago in Poland. Her name was Primordial Hag. Rose.
11 years should give... let's see, we don't know exactly how... Or maybe we do. Maybe I'm forgetting something. I'll just shut up about that. I don't remember exactly if we know how long Big D's been in England for. At least a few years, but...
She herself insisted upon. She was an amazing, but complex woman. Upon courting me in the tranquil embrace of a Wednesday's twilight, amidst a holy grove at the ancient Oakland, I soon learned of her fatal addiction. She...
Courting me. Bit of foreshadowing for the fact that this was one of Big D's marriages.
Faithful servant of the vampire wizard, one we had tracked through the slow stilling of the local pulse, was the perfect embodiment of the normative thrall rule. Bound tirelessly to her dormitor, she was their eyes and ears. She acted as clandestine agent and a lethal hand in her dormitor's domain. She also served as an economist, a chauffeur, a maid, and a reserve blood bag, all in one sorrowful symphony of servitude.
Relatable.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Yeah, Kitten definitely feels like a serf sometimes.
Sorry.
What? Body burying! She also buried bodies.
Oh.
Definitely an important thing if you're the sort of vampire that kills people.
Care of the camel.
Austin.
Camels in Poland.
The camel ghoul, son-in-law.
I mean, Poland has zoos.
Ghouls.
We have gone too far. So she was a normative ghoul.
More or less. Ha-ha! Yes!
You found the ear trumpet?
By human
At
hearing,
last.
we are no longer bound. We trumpet by ear. Our prey will be found.
You inspire endlessly, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry, but for, what was her name? Rosalia?
Primordial Hag Rosalia. Yes.
Sure.
Guy Chapman isn't the only one who respects titles.
Sorry, how exactly could she put up with all that?
Well, past the impossibly addictive nature of the vitae, there's also the blood bond.
Yeah.
Blood bond, okay. I think that's a new one. Let's go with that for our next topic.
Certainly. Let's keep up our discussion as we head out. But first, let us see what we might have gained. All right, trumpets up to my ear. Say something funny.
Something funny.
My ear!
I think that thing works a bit too well.
I'm sorry?
Perfect. With war gear in hand, this is where the hunt truly starts. Let us go!
Right, so... what is the blood bond?
It is a truly, unquestionably vile thing.
Agreed. From what I remember, it works roughly the same in Vampire the Requiem as in Vampire the Masquerade. maybe a bit less effective in VTR than VTM, but still, it works roughly the same.
The blood bond is to take the very essence of a person and wring it whole in chain. To enslave someone's very thoughts.
Like, convince them that the thoughts and actions of their bondee are their own?
In a way, son-in-law, but much worse.
Yeah, Kevin's description of the blood bond was very accurate.
The blood bond is, to most, completely indistinguishable from the natural feelings of loyalty, faith, duty, and love. The blood-bonded brain would do its all to trick itself into believing that these feelings, and anything demanded of them by their regnant, are legitimate, justified, and good. It can warp a thrall's very perception of reality, changing it to a world where their regnant is the undisputed center.
That is undoubtedly scary.
Yes.
But being blood bonded is not a prerequisite to being a ghoul.
A question with an irritating answer. It is
Yeah.
not, but almost all ghouls who drink directly from a dormitor are immediately bound in some way via the first drink. It is often assumed to be a prerequisite, because their bond exists from the first drink. It is only after the third they are truly enthralled.
Yeah, that's generally how it works in Vampire the Requiem as well.
But depending on how frequently they are fed and how attentive their regnant is, ghouls can either be slavishly devoted or fiercely resentful of this situation. This all entirely assuming that they're drinking fresh vitae from the source, and not vitae that has sat and had the blood bonding effect go out of it. In the end, a liar is someone who has lied. A thief is someone who has stolen. A rat is someone who has talked. A Liégeois is someone who has, for whatever fucking reason, decided to live in Liège, Belgium, and honestly hasn't had the sense to leave yet. I mean, honestly!
Short city.
Wait, he said decided to live in Leeds, but yeah, like, think that might, if you're watching it in chronological order of when it takes place, be a bit of foreshadowing for Remold, maybe? Dee's general dislike of Liège, Belgium.
And a ghoul is someone who has drunk vampiric vitae. The qualifier is only that you have committed to it once, and the label is not necessarily a permanent one. That is all a ghoul is.
Ah, right, got it. Okay. So this slavishly devoted part of our summation of ghouls is the result of this blood bond and not actually necessarily part of being a ghoul, yes?
Well, yes and no. Don't do that.
Ah, son-in-law, it is me, Sir D. I am a font of
Kitten is a very good voice actor. His impression of Dee is spot on.
inspiration and ideas.
Oh, you pernicious prankster.
And Kitten's voice actor is also a very good voice actor. It doesn't sound like Big D, it sounds like Kitten imitating Big D's voice.
Sorry.
Oh, well, let me elucidate.
That is pretty difficult to do.
Right, so, drinking blood. Have you drunken blood?
Closest I've gotten to is a rare blue steak, maybe wet black pudding. Oh, or when Marcus impacted me and we flew into the bus
A
together.
blemish on your gastronomic
Yeah.
repute.
That still hurts.
But good for our exposition. Your regular fellow does not drink raw blood.
Yeah, I wonder if Dee was a bit upset that Kitten didn't drink blood as the blemish, or that he, didn't seem to have enjoyed it.
For
I
the
know.
purposes of this generalization, we are excluding Boy, Door, and the fearsome Mongol hordes of
Yeah. Yeah, like, considering how Boy's on an all-meat diet, that kind of makes
Genghis
sense.
Khan. But yes, you would not drink raw blood. Especially not raw human blood. Especially not directly from some nasty dude's wrist. That's grody. Disgusting! Why ever do it? This is a call to engagement, son-in-law! Why would someone drink from the grody man's wrist?
Well, maybe they're attracted to grody men and think it's a sexy vampire thing when it's a Nosferatu because some of them make it work.
My assumption was that they were simply forced to drink. Kevin used a strange mind trick to prevent us from moving back in the Bidham tunnels. In such
So, blood in vampire, this is a, so like, okay, to put in simple terms, putting vampire blood in someone's drink and then making them drink it in Vampire the Requiem wouldn't work, or at least you'd have to do it very quickly, generally speaking, unless you have some sort of devotion or merit or something else that lets you do it. The potency of the amount of vitae you get from blood goes away pretty quickly in Vampire the Requiem. Like, unless a vampire gets it within a few minutes of it leaving someone's body, to use a human example, it will have no effect. Hence, vampires in Vampire the Requiem cannot use blood bags to drink from at all. Which is pretty different from Vampire the Masquerade, where they can, but there's a reduced effect in the blood.
Such a way they could force their ghouls to drink their blood and then,
Say no more, for you are completely wrong, son-in-law.
Good, I am learning.
Whilst many are forced or even tricked into drinking it, the vampire's vitae activates something in the brain upon so much as getting close to it.
Activates?
Concept of free will is blasted into the realm of myth as you, small lad scared by slightly too pink chicken, suddenly guzzles down that foul corpse liquid. No, that irresistible wrist nectar with no fear, no disgust, and barely any notion of what you're doing.
That is as appalling as it is worrying.
Absolutely.
And once you drink...
You are Ghouled. And so met with a craving that would take other drugs weeks to engender. And from there, the spiral only deepens.
Given that, the blood bond just kind of comes naturally for most ghouls, I take it.
It does. We are both the incredibly addictive vitae in of itself, hitting like no other barbiturate. Then, there is the blood bond, which materializes the more someone drinks of the same vampire's vitae. As I heard it from Rosalia, she drank 3 separate times on 3 different occasions.
This is honestly kind of showing how Big D learns a lot of this stuff. It is genuinely through interrogation, though of different sorts, as shown with Kevin and now told from him with Rosalia.
24-something hours between each drink. After that, the bond took a complete stranglehold.
And much like her, that is when a ghoul becomes their Domitor's retainer, basically.
Their trusted retainer, at the least. Even if they were originally unwilling, like Rosalia was. They are now both addicted and bound to the will and vitae of the vampire, overwhelmed by an uncontrollable feeling of loyalty and desire for their heinous master. That slavish devotion to the vitae comes in 2 for many, or just in 1 for some.
The ability to mess with the brain like that, the thing that makes us... us.
You can just imagine the breadth of power fantasies enacted by those vampires willing to abuse it.
Yeah.
Enslave your past bully, enslave your working staff, enslave your desired lover.
Yeah, like I said earlier, that a vampire turning a human into a ghoul, who they're in love with, could be benevolent. But I didn't say it always was. In some cases, it's just straight up mind control and rape, as D demonstrates there. Like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but it's also paved with bad intentions.
That is beyond horror.
Yeah.
Oh yes, but...
And there are lots of people who would be perfectly happy to take advantage of that, even before becoming an inhuman monster.
Believe you me, it gets far worse.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the few things restraining them is probably that vampires generally want people to distance themselves from their former lives. Without that, there'd be a lot more people out to get revenge. I like that line of dialogue in Bloodlines. I still have that list from high school.
Really? Oh, goodness.
But not yet! The rat awaits, child! We will have to pace ourselves like we're out pubbing in Great Yarmouth!
So, spot of tea followed by a crack injection?
What the... You don't inject!
Call back to Kevin.
Do you believe Yarmouth is fundamentally broken?
And yeah, like, that is a pretty good question to ask when they both D and Kitten mention, both Kevin and Kitten mention crack injections.
Some spiritual level.
Yes.
Might it somehow connect with the 99p stores and the mini golf courses?
Oh, I am sure.
The masters of these accursed places.
Wonder if the worm's behind that, or at least some powerful spirit. Or maybe it's just the Tremere, but the Tremere are working with Pentex, so probably is the worm, at least indirectly.
This must be hunted down! The clubhead, the groundkeeper, all bound for annihilation, much like the British royalty. Oh, Queen Victoria, you'll rue that day yet!
Fairly sure Queen Victoria's dead.
I'm sure you are, but I'm not convinced.
If I remember right, Queen Victoria was part of the Technocracy in World of Darkness. The Technocracy is definitely one of the things they could have thought through a bit better, considering how it means that Einstein and a certain mustachioed Austrian were technically on the same side, despite the fact that the latter, well, would have killed the former had he had a chance, and the former fled Germany because the latter took power.
Well, before we get back to the hunt, let me ask. Are there vampires who never actually blood bond their ghouls?
Certainly. I've known vampires who refuse the blood bond out of principle,
Kevin is that. That's a direct reference to Kevin.
but still feed vitae to their ghouls. They need only be careful.
Though, Dee might also have met other vampires like that. That's mainly a Kevin thing relevant to this series, but for all we know, there could be others.
So, not all ghouls are blood bonded, but all who are blood bonded are ghouls.
Yes!
But also
Except
no.
vampires. Well, vampire ghouls are, for our purposes, technically a thing, but it would many times come across as immensely derogatory to call a vampire a ghoul.
Because it's a slur?
It's more that it's an immediate turning of their social order, placing one of the kindred in the same position as their slaves.
So, what? According to those who structure power in their societies, a vampire cannot be a ghoul by definition?
Yes! And it's not a definition we have to use.
Yeah, like, ghouls are humans who are fed vampire blood and typically blood bonded by it. Vampires, well, therefore, by vampire definition, cannot be ghouls even with the blood bond. But like Dee said, you don't have to use that definition.
Their definition is formed and enforced by societal standards,
Yep.
traditions, and their hierarchical order. So, if you want to insult a high-flown vampire wizard, defy them and insist upon calling them a ghoul.
I wonder if Dee's going to do that with the Regnant or the Regnant's direct child. This could be a big instance of foreshadowing.
Just don't let them touch you.
Oh, we are really getting stuck in now. But look, while we're talking terms, I have a new topic.
Very good. But before that,
Oh, right, the hunt, sorry.
my augmented ear must ascertain the creature's current location.
Over there!
What are you...
I'm listening for movements through the wall.
Isn't it trickier to listen through the house's exterior wall than doing it through the walls inside?
I hear it!
I guess not.
Wait. I think this rat has 8 legs?
A bit of foreshadowing that this isn't really a rat, but it could, or it isn't really one thing, too, but there are legitimately vampires who could make a ghoul with a rat with 8 legs. I think it'd be pretty easy for Zamisi to add a few more legs with vicissitude.
8 legs?
What poor freak has invaded our home? If they are able, they will soon come to regret it. To the kitchen!
The kitchen?
I really like how they modeled the family's house in Gmod. That is really cool, and I wish I had Gmod so I could use it.
Alright, maybe I can pack away the scones I made before they dry.
Kitten's still thinking of that when they're in the middle of a ghoul
I shall
hunt.
open
Says a lot about him as a
the
character.
kitchen window!
Or what should I do?
Here, take this ear jar!
What? Holy shit!
No, I thought you'd catch
Why
it!
bring the ear
You'll
jar?
have to do. The irresistible smell of meaty ears will surely attract that morbid pest.
Whose ears even are these?
They're labeled with hexadecimal serial codes behind the lobe so I can keep track. But it doesn't matter now! Leave these ears in peace.
Oh boy.
We will take our vantage point outside the window behind that
Jar.
We'll have to do.
Holy
Window! Now! Leave these
Engage
ears
it.
in peace.
Oh boy.
We will take our vantage point outside the window. When the beast strikes, we will snipe it with a powerful pressure washer.
Pressure
We'll hit it
washer
so hard,
attack.
even the regnant will feel it.
Okay. We're just gonna sit here in the yard?
Probably.
I love the yard!
Fair.
But it's raining.
You'll clean up the ears, yeah?
Sure, if there are any left.
Good.
Yeah, ghouls might eat them.
Mind if I bring up another topic?
Bring them like boats up the mountaintop.
What is a domitor and what is a regnant? I've heard you use the words regnant and domitor a few times now. Are those real titles used by vamps? And is there some kind of distinction between the two? They just feel like different words for master.
Yes, these are real terms used by real, actual uppercase V vampires that are real and actual. I've heard the titles of Ghoul and Domitor, as well as Thrall and Regnant, from multiple unaffiliated sources. At least in the West. Also, Lickmaster, Vaddy, Big Papa, but those are just perverse.
How charming.
And to answer your second question, these are not, in fact, synonyms. They are distinct. First, we have a Ghoul and the Domitor. A Domitor is the blood giver, whilst the Ghoul is the blood recipient. That is actually as simple as phyllo cheese pie, but it is, of course, purposefully dressed in the language of master and slave. Because everything vampires do is...
That tracks.
It's a bit different in Vampire the Requiem, slightly. There are some vampires that don't really have an interest in political power all that much, or master-slave stuff. Namely the Ordo Dracul. You could literally have a prince of the Ordo Dracul, though they tend to be rare because the Ordo Dracul doesn't really care about attaining power, so it's rare that the prince of the city is one of them. But you could have one of them, and he's basically a laissez-faire leader, not because he actually believes in just letting people do whatever they want, but because he's too busy with his experiments to give a crap about governing.
Every other word out of Piotr's mouth was a master-slave dichotomy. Man, these vampires sure love their class systems. What of the regnant, though? What's that term all about?
The Regnant-Thrall relationship is a step beyond. See, a Thrall is one whom is blood-bonded. A Regnant is a blood-bondee. Here, the master and slave analogy is far more literal. An inseparably attached imposition on the existence of the bond. A Ghoul is many times also a Thrall, but not necessarily. Do you understand?
Ow. Naturally. And I suppose thrall is equally as derisive a term within the same context?
Not always.
No?
Unlike the term ghoul, a vampire can also be named a thrall. In fact, the normative assumption is that when you speak of a thrall, you're talking about a blood-bonded vampire.
Probably because it's generally assumed that ghouls are blood-bound.
The whole society is structured.
Oh, right, D said it right there.
That a ghoul is always blood-bonded. Using thrall to describe a ghoul is meant to be redundant. Which, you know, it isn't. But I want you to think it is. As an example for a vampire thrall, take Primordial Hag Rosalia's Regnant. That foul sorcerer had another one blood-bonded to them. The lowly magi they had signed.
Could be a Tremere in the pyramid. There are multiple types of blood sorcery. The Tzimisce have a form called Koldunic sorcery. The San Giovanni and other Giovanni, not San Giovanni, and other Cappadocians use necromancy. Tremere use their own form of it. And, well, while the Tremere make it a habit of blood bonding people as part of the pyramid, it's not like the other kinds are incapable of that.
For as bad as the Regnant Thrall titles sound, it is the norm in certain social cliques for vampiric thralls to proudly name themselves such, as they partake in a bond or blood wedding, as they might grossly name it. Such self-debasement, whilst frowned upon in many societies, is often not considered an act of social upheaval or a degenerative taboo. Rather, it is considered a noble and necessary recognition of an inevitable hierarchy that serves to keep social order intact. That is, of course, unless the blood bond was imposed by someone of lower clan onto a kindred of higher clan, say.
Oh god, two wholly different kinds of caustic jargon.
Yep.
Two? Ha-ha! Who's keeping count, eh? Count! Like Dracula!
Or that Sesame Street vampire. Little does anyone know, but the Sesame Street vampire Count Von Count is actually the Zamisi antediluvian in an alternate timeline, where he decided that he didn't want to be evil anymore and would rather educate children. Why do you think he looks like a puppet? That's flesh crafting just at a very high level.
In summary, not all ghouls are thralls, and not all thralls are ghouls. Same for dormitors and regnants.
The vampire elite really loves to use norms as a weapon, huh?
Much like any elite.
That's true. Now, okay, this is all fine and good. Or, no, excuse me, this is god-awful.
Yeah.
True! Except for the god part, probably.
A serf willing to do anything at the call of someone as morally bankrupt as Piotr. I can see just how dangerous that is.
Yeah, pretty terrifying.
And there is no limit to how many ghouls or bonds a vampire can have either?
The only limit lies in how much vitae a vampire can give.
Goodness gracious. But as I understand it, that's still not even as bad as it gets, yeah?
Oh! No, 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 no. No, 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 not by far. The eight-legged rat thing we now hunt? Likely a hateful example of just that.
Yeah.
Wait. Sir, my scones!
Your sconers?
My scone!
Your sconies?
Look! Through the window! They're bloody gone!
Eaten by the ghouls. Honestly, it'd be kind of funny if this was I saw this episode, I know it's not a human ghoul, but it'd be kind of funny if this was a human ghoul who just took a moment to steal some scones for, very little. Well, I mean, human ghouls do need to eat food, they can't subsist off of vampire blood, but still, like, seeing the scones would be a bit funny if it was a human ghoul.
Scones.
Scones!
Gnomes!
Did the thing take them? Or is Marcus awake?
Damnation! Into the house, quickly!
Yeah.
Marcus?
Marcus, have you eaten 20 scones at one sitting again?
Yeah. Still asleep, it seems.
No response. Door's out firing guns and has been in a ration-type mood all week. And boy does not eat bread or British food.
Sir, look! A trail.
It leads out onto the pool deck through the window.
God, kitten scones must be really good if Marcus eats like 20 of them in one sitting.
Should we follow it?
Yes.
Oh god, my scone!
We've been sconed! Quickly,
Sconed.
quietly. Open the door out onto the deck.
Guess he has some gamer
Worry.
bingo he picked up.
Do not know what this creature is capable of.
Right. Blimey, that reminds me. Ghoul powers. There's the matter of the smattering of vampire magics that you mentioned. They gain a whisper of their master's powers. What does that entail exactly?
I will not lie, dear boy. I will not lie. But I will get entirely within your personal space, okay? What I'm about to divulge is of the utmost sensitivity and confidentiality.
Which should tell you just how important this
Oh,
is.
I can trust with it. But the others, not quite yet. Have faith that I will tell them when the time is right, and not a second sooner. Understand
And they'll
me,
hesitate
dear
even
boy?
then.
Okay.
But still, all this should show just how much Dee respects Kitten. Like, even if it isn't a matter of trust, like he said before, he still thinks Kitten is more reliable than his own children, or at least than Marcus. But, yes, still very important.
But I will first point out the Scoun Trail. The Scran, the Scroak, the Skrelv, the trail. It leads to the pool house.
Oh, it does. But what an odd trail.
From the window onto the pool deck to the pool house. Scran, the scone snatcher, was following the very edge of the deck, pressed against the house walls, until it ducked beneath the deck table, then sprinted into the pool house.
Is it because of the rain? Because that would be odd. If we assume that this is like an 8-legged rat, rats aren't known to fear a light rain like this. Could this be a ghoul thing?
Ghouls can inherit flaws from their master or develop new idiosyncrasies. But I've never heard of a fear of rain. We had better move quickly.
Right. I'll open the door.
Yeah. Yeah, like, the ghoul being
Door
afraid
to
of
move
rain
quickly.
is probably something related to the animals they actually are. Like, but we know what they are. My own dogs are quite afraid of rain at times.
What a bloodbath! Or perhaps a bread bath?
My scones! My fine home-baked scones! Ripped apart like the common 99p loaf!
I'm so sorry, son-in-law. We should never be a victim in the fight against evil.
I wanted to treat the
Yeah.
Arcanum to my family's scone recipe again.
Hold a moment. The creature could still be here.
What?
There's an easy way to figure that out.
wait.
Go!
Wait, that's a strong pressure washer.
Water jets etched itself all over the woods. Oh, the pool house and the deck stains all patchy and... Oh god, a plank snapped!
Son-in-law, look.
What?
Son-in-law! Look closer.
Oh. It wasn't visible under the deck stain. But now that it's been blasted away and I have to repaint it again...
Focus.
Sorry. These are claw marks. But they're only here, and they've left almost like small craters behind them.
Can you suss out what happened?
Oh shit. There's a small dent on the roof right above. Did they jump up onto the roof from here? Can they do that?
Let me tell you about just that.
Sure, but what if it can hear us?
We'll move out and go to Dor's workshop. Given our findings, the creature seems to not like rain. It's likely hiding by the chimney. Or perhaps even in the attic.
Okay. We'll go get one of the ladders. Let's go.
Ladder time.
Listen close. The vampire is two things. The body and the vitae. The human and the beast. The ghoul.
In Vampire the Requiem, vampires are basically a sentient mass of blood puppeting a corpse. I don't know if they're really the same thing in Vampire the Masquerade, but the fact that they're sentient blood puppeting a corpse tends to bother the vampires who are trying to keep their humanity.
Good and the bad. And sometimes the ugly. But that's three.
Nosferatu.
Several millennia ago, an ancient canine was subject to venereal tumors.
What? Canine? Not canite.
We're talking dog cancer!
Bit of foreshadowing of what the final culprit
now.
here is.
In a freak accident by nature, the tumor cells in this dog would mutate, gaining the ability to infect other dogs like a pathogen.
If I remember right, that's one of the last traces of American dogs, the Native American breeds of dogs still around.
These venereal tumor cells would essentially become an entity all their own. A unicellular, an immortal life form that could spread from body to body, bringing its deadly affliction to millions upon millions of dogs all across the globe.
Fuck?
Yes! The Vitae is a life form alien to its host that co-opts the corpse of a human, taking its hands, its heart, its mind, and memories, puppeteering it like the zombie and fungus, fighting its host to meet its own desire of eating, and spreading its infection further
And in Vampire the Requiem, it's possible that the beast is an owl monster.
and cordyceps, that's the name.
Fungus or the
cordyceps.
dog tumor?
Does it matter? Dear boy, these
The
are what
cordyceps is the fungus, not the dog tumor.
curses are. These are the great calamities we set ourselves against. And a small part of the Vitae, that life form, that living curse, is spread into the still living form of another to make a ghoul.
A vampire's blood does its all to give their host a shot at their new role as predator. I take it does similar things to ghouls? Is that where you're going?
Correct. But much like how it manipulates the mind and body of a dead host, it creeps in the same way into the still animated tissues of a living one, though in a far more limited regard. It is like the human body, whilst it still brims with life, fights against the undead agent infiltrating its body. A war fought between good and bad, and sometimes ugly, within your very flesh.
That's an inspired analogy, I must say. But, whilst the vampire blood asserts its control, I take it the ghouls are able to make use of the same arcane abilities that their Domitor employ? I mean, since a part of their Domitor is now part of them, yeah?
Certainly. By and large, their powers are very limited. Increased strength, resilience, and bodily generation come most naturally. The overwhelming majority of ghouls I've met are limited to just those. But other powers are not outside their grasp, provided their Domitor possesses them as well. In addition, it demands intense training for a ghoul to master even the most basic of disciplines. So it was for primordial hag Rosalia, and a few other ghouls I've happened upon.
So if Piotr...
Disciplines are generally the same regarding ghouls and their Domitors in VTR, but disciplines in general work differently than in VTM. In general, they're more powerful in Vampire the Requiem due to having both passive and active effects. If I remember right, in Vampire the Masquerade, so you get, with the super strength discipline, you need blood to activate it, and it does automatic successes. In Vampire the Requiem, it sort of does that with blood to activate, but it also increases your general strength stat without blood to activate. So, Ghoul there would be more powerful with the super strength thing, even if they don't have any blood left to activate it.
Or had a ghoul say?
Just noting differences between editions, because this is mostly lore stuff.
And juggle a dumpster. Here you go, by the way.
Thank you. Well, not in the way Piotr could, of course. A theoretical Piotr ghoul could train themselves to use a form of invisibility, but one that only works if the user is totally still. Alternatively, they could attain an ability to punch hard enough to easily break a leg, but not much more than that.
There's just a lot of different vampire types out there, isn't there? And I'm sure we haven't even catalogued half of them. We can't even know what ghouls can do because we barely even know what vampires can do yet.
Good point.
This is true! And there are as many ghoul variants as there are vampire variants, if not more. But once we get on that roof, we can add another one to our index.
Ladder's here,
Soon
by the
enough.
way. Wait, shit, this one's too short.
I couldn't even use that for my extemporalized pole dancing!
There should be another one here somewhere.
Pole dancing. Yeah, D definitely hasn't met a homosexual he can't sway. I think a lot of women would really like that too, which, judging by the amount of children he has, yeah.
Oh, here. Wait, this one's also too small.
There's a wooden ladder in Horse's house, right?
Yeah. Yeah, alright, we'll go get
I
that one.
like how D refers to it as Horse's house, not like a barn or anything. It's legitimately his son's house.
I suppose.
Shows the bond they
We had
have.
a bigger one in here.
Whoa, horse time!
In regards to this one, like as far as they go, I mean, ghoul variants. I take it this one is at least not your standard ghoul.
Based on the clues presented thus far, of course not!
Since there's a lot of variables involved, what do you reckon this ghoul could be? Some type of fell, muck-wielding ghoul empowered by their Domitor? Or an ultra-slick, nigh-invisible skulker?
Let me lay some groundwork. Starting off, there is of course natural variance from ghoul to ghoul, depending on who their dormitory is. The thralled ghoul is the thing that the vampiric elite would list as the only legitimate kind of ghoul. But for as much as I make fun of the blue-blooded vampire snobs, I too think this next ghoul variant is a dangerous thing to talk openly about. This is another important factoid that I bestow upon you in confidentiality, son-in-law.
If I remember right, factoid was originally meant to be, well, to mean fact-like. And was meant to be something that resembled a fact. Like, it sounded like one when it's actually wrong. These days, people tend to use it for, like, small little facts, but don't quote me on this. I don't know if that's true or not.
Independent ghoul.
Independent? Like, the non-thrall variety? Is that not better in every way?
It certainly is, let me be clear. Independent ghouls are good. I wish independence for every ghoul out there before they liberate themselves from the Vitae.
As do I.
To much of vampiric high society, however, they are living, walking masquerade breaches.
Which makes them dangerous for the family to talk about.
They do not act in accordance with their norms and traditions, and thus are treated worse than even the half-blooded daywalkers.
Ah, yeah, daywalkers. I quite pitied the daywalker we hunted. Nothing like Piotr or Kevin in a lot of them. You had mentioned they are severely oppressed in vampiric society. Are you saying independent ghouls are even worse off?
Without a doubt. They're often despised among the kindred elite and blood-hunted all over the world. These creatures are meant to be on a leash, after all. A masterless hound that can unwittingly destroy an entire society cannot be allowed on the street.
Even if their independence isn't willing, but because they lost their domitor, they could be that's still dangerous. Like, a ghoul like that shows up in bloodlines.
And so, independents usually work in secret, actually with more progressive vampires. Or those that are also under the big boot, like the daywalkers.
Thin bloods, definitely, considering how some of them can walk in daylight.
So how do you work as an independent ghoul?
Well, again, there are many ways.
You could fill out a job application.
Often they have multiple different donors, getting vitae where they can find it, but always being wary of the blood bond. That's essentially it. Outside of that, you're independent. You can do whatever.
Krakus, presumably.
Krakus at it with his primal scream therapy again.
I am definitely increasingly coming around to the idea that Krakus is Elder Shuck, and the werewolves think decaptured him as a misunderstanding.
Neighbors.
Holy shit!
Missing on fire. Wonder if Krakus is fighting someone actually and they just don't
You'll be
notice.
all out of house before long.
Have you seen his house? It's submerged in a ditch and has a tarp for a roof.
An upsetting figure. If he weren't such a loose cannon, he would make an excellent hunter.
He's too busy digging for Iceni treasure.
Oh, speaking of loose cannons, there are also our twisted allies in hunter ghouls.
Hunter ghouls?
Yeah, okay, so something interesting, but like the head of one of the major hunter factions in Vampire the Requiem is a hunter ghoul.
Oh.
Just something interesting to note. Not sure if any of them have that much influence in Old World of Darkness.
Good. As you can imagine, they are hunters who hunt down, stake, and then keep their quarry to carefully feed off of till the stock runs dry.
Right. I understand. It's on the brink of what we do, innit?
That's right. We only extract information. Thus far.
Don't like that implication.
Another thing we do not do is sling vitae. Could have made some serious dosh in Yarmouth had we kept those canites steak.
Wonder if there are any hunter or independent ghouls in Yarmouth that Big D knows. This could be foreshadowing.
I'm not sure.
I jest, of course. There's about 12 good reasons not to sell vampire slave drugs. But many an independent manages to do it for a living, using the same vampiric powers against those that would call them thralls and cattle. It's a serious hustle. One has to respect it. But I'd never condone it. You lose too much of yourself to vitae once you imbibe it. What else? We also have ghoul families.
Yeah, the Zamisi does them a
Families
lot.
that are all ghoul.
That exists too, but no. I mean ghoul.
That are all ghoul.
That exists too, but no.
Glad that he had to clarify about that, or rather, not glad, just things a bit funny.
I mean
Look,
ghouls
dark.
that have been
Very
so
dark.
ghouled that they pass on their ghouldom to their ghouldren.
Horrible.
Yep.
Much like a rare blood disease, then. The vitae spreads from mother to child.
As far as I know, that isn't a natural process. But there are ghoul families so embossed with their master's vitae that they even produce vitae of their own.
Which is probably one of the main reasons why you want a ghoul in the family in the first place, so you can have more ghouls without having to feed them yourself.
These individuals are called revenants, and are typically deeply loyal to a given clan,
Thus, less risk of the Guy Chapman scenario.
sect, or bloodline.
That's interesting. Oh god, what if Piotr was planning something like that?
Piotr babies? I refute the very notion! But no. Oh, and speaking of family... Horse, my baby boy! How's
Hello.
father's little giant? Yeah.
Hello, horse. Guy, like how D is very much openly affectionate with Horse. It definitely establishes further that Horse is his favorite child.
Ah, please, eat my apologies, Horse. You're still a bit queasy, aren't you? You have your father's eternal respect for the strength you've displayed these past few nights. We're looking for a ladder, by the way. We suspect there might be a ghoul on or in our roof. Oh, certainly. Death will come slowly.
Oi, actually, the
Kinda implying that Horse wanted to torture the ghoul to death, which, if Horse really is a demon, that probably isn't that surprising.
potential ghoul on the roof? Just making sure. It is an animal, yeah?
Fiddler
You
on the
had
roof,
already
maybe.
mentioned
Fiddler
animal ghouls
ghoul.
previously.
Of course! Animal ghouls
Animal ghouls are a thing in Vampire the Requiem, but not as much as in Vampire the Masquerade. The rulebook even mentions that they don't use animal ghouls all that often, if I remember right. That being said, there are various vampiric powers that let them create animal familiars more powerful than ghouls. Those are what you really need to worry about.
are limited in what they can do.
In fact, I actually have a Darkest Dungeon Crimson Court bloodline build. They're a Deva bloodline, and if I ever, run a game with one of them, I'm probably going to have one of them have a ghouled crocodile, which if you play Darkest Dungeon, you get the reference.
But immensely versatile. Imagine a peregrine falcon acting as your eyes. Imagine a rhinoceros as a mount. Imagine giving a dog the power of a gorilla. Imagine giving a gorilla the power of a double gorilla. Imagine a whale. I don't know how that works, but just think about whales for a second. These things are all possible, provided you have the vitae to spare. And a familiar like this is, evidently, something our dormitor has invested in. Isn't that just wacky off the walls, dearest horse, kindest horse, fairest horse in all the land of Angel? Yeah. He says he would run it over, stomp it into the ground, and then crush its skull in his big mouth should it near his home. Oh, but he'd only eat it if it was made of plant or whatever. He
Plants.
is a horse, of course.
Plant?
Yep, just a horse, definitely not something
And
supernatural.
ghouls.
A thing in Vampire the Requiem too, but they tend to be a specialty of the Circle of the Crone.
Plant?
Yeah, however it's pronounced. It's rare, as it demands a touch of thaumaturgy.
Like blood sorcery?
Indeed. With it, it's possible to grow a garden of blood-addicted plants that are excellent for disposing of bodies. Rosalia's job only got a touch easier and a whole lot more dangerous when that viscera garden was grown. There's also the plant people that certain blood sorcerers can create. Haunting human simulacrums made from plants, such as the mandrake. Those are able to perform only the most basic of tasks, though.
Unfathomably creepy.
Yes, keep the law never mowed, son-in-law. Never mowed. Wait, that's Horse's job. Don't steal Horse's job.
Horse eats so much grass that he mows the family's lawn, apparently.
I never dare. Why are we here again? Oh, that's right. Ladder. Over here.
Ladder.
God. It's also too small.
Or are we too big?
I swear, where is the bloody ceiling ladder? I know we had it in the workshop before.
The tall one?
Yes.
Ah, that's right. I put that one in the chimney.
You what?
Well, I had to see where the secret chimney door in my room went.
What?
Yeah, there's like this secret door.
This is definitely foreshadowing. They're definitely going to come back to this later at some point. And the fact that Kitten doesn't know about it, despite it being his house, makes him understandably horrified.
The chimney wall in my room. Actually, it leads all the way up to the roof.
You can play your fiddle.
Yes, how could I have forgotten? Let's go climb the chimney.
Holy shit, what is going on?
My horse. I'll come back with dinner in just a bit.
Secret door, chimney ladder. Oh god, just ignore it for now. Just ignore it.
Yeah, I'd be freaking out like that too in his place.
With all this in mind, with how the ghouls are made, I really can't get in the headspace of someone who'd do any of this. It's gross, immoral, senseless, all kinds of bad words.
There are not enough bad words in the world's collated lexicon for the true depths of evil that can be inflicted on mankind by the worst of these slavers.
Really? And these true depths of evil?
Here
What
we go.
do they entail?
I will not linger on this for long, as these things are... It is where the mind wanders unwillingly.
Yeah,
Thoughts of
even
those
Dee's
victims
getting
that have you
freaked
feeling
out
like-
thinking about this.
Like you aren't doing enough. That you need to do...
That being said, I think this episode is very important because it demonstrates Dee's good side, as well as that Kitten's. I'll go more into it later, but like, we saw Dee's bad side in the 99p thing, where he was an absolute menace for little to no reason. But here, we can see that despite him being a menace at times, Dee genuinely has some good intentions, quite a few. Whenever he thinks of ghouls, he thinks, we need to do more for them, we need to help them more. Dee can be a bad person at times, mainly because of his insanity due to the damage being a hunter has done to him. But he is a good person, in part because he's driven to be a hunter to, well, help the people who are damaged by the supernatural, and even those supernaturals who are trying to, well, fight their condition.
More.
And what a done.
In a way, it's a very tragic, and Kitten feels the same way about ghouls, but anyway, in a way, it's a very tragic situation. Dee, because of his good intentions, has been permanently and irreparably damaged. he could never live a normal life. He could never not be a hunter. He's trapped in this lifestyle because he's doing the right thing. His insanity is a result of what he's doing because he is a good person at his core. So yeah, like this very much helps keep Dee likable despite his many, many flaws as a character and as a person. Which is very important in a series, especially when you have characters who are leaning more gray, though Dee is very light shade of gray for this particular setting.
To these victims.
Lobotomized servitors drunk on the vitae, the freedom and personhood stolen from them. They take these people, like you, like me, like our family and friends. Imagine it! The complexity of our lives, the worth we place in our memories, our abilities, our moments, and our place. They take it! They take it and literally mold them away.
Yeah, definitely talking about the Zamisi
Favor
here.
of grotesquerie with the hateful, hateful magics. They form and reshape their minds, their bodies to shapes and sizes
Yep,
utterly
sloshed.
inhuman. They trap these people within their own skin as they take their all, and like vile caricatures of sculptors, carpenters, crafters, and leatherworkers, these fiends fashion their desires.
If it wasn't obvious that he's talking about the Zamisi before, him using one of their names should
to
make
their
it.
victims. Living furniture that cannot scream, walking blood taps with spigots of innards, animated art mercilessly bent at just the perfect angle. Gargoyle folk bound by ritual to a particular place, ever to guard it, unable to leave it. Blood-bound cabals of wizards and fae, the pure stuff of raw imagination, squeezed and siphoned until nothing remains. People turn to bird feeders for unspeakable specters, hungrily eating their flesh, their essence, hulking abominations made of entire families, parents, grandparents, children.
Some of the worst things the Zamisi can do to someone, and not that useful anymore since those things can be taken out with one shot with a rocket launcher. Honestly, the General Slazda are far more useful because at the very least, they're more difficult to hit.
Sinew and flesh inseparably fused like sickly mixed mince. This all.
Stop.
This all is.
Stop. Okay, stop. I don't need to hear anymore.
Apologies, son-in-law. I got carried away.
It's fine. It's just... I don't like this at all.
Yeah.
It makes me want to... This all makes me want to...
Do more.
Yep. Back to that doing more to help them.
I want to... save this person. In the chapter house, I mean. Whoever it is. They deserve better.
You won't save just them. You will save them all.
Let's see. So far, Fatigue, Grimmel, I mean, if you count losing a hand as not being saved, Spit. But generally speaking, going as well as they'd hoped.
So, what should we do once we find this poor thing in our house?
Kill it, probably.
Really?
I'm sorry, son-in-law. But it would be best to save this poor animal from its misery.
That is how we save them? But wait,
Mercy.
what about the ghoul in the chapter house? Are we going to kill them?
No! Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
We can see what we can do. I'm optimistic. I think capturing the chapter house ghoul will be largely a triviality. After that, it's up to us figuring out the finer details of their ghouldom and just how deep it goes.
Yeah, there could be some quite depths, especially with some disciplines like Dominate.
The going theory is that the ghoul infiltrator is one of the people already inside the Arcanum chapter house, and no secret person X, no animal, and no bloody plant. Was that right?
Yes, skipping some details, what Kevin gave me was the following. Allow me to paraphrase. This is something the status quo vampire big shots would not want hunters to know.
Ah, status quo vampire big shots. Not the Regent, because, well, he doesn't quite want to reveal too much in case the vampires are listening or something.
They have ghouls all
Or in case Kitten releases it.
across East Anglia, serving as the backbone of their information network. This allows them to expand the borders of their domain, line their pieces up in the war effort, and most importantly, to get at something. Something that, as of now, remains unknown.
Which means that the Tremere are looking for something. I wonder what it is. Like, the Tremere have a specific target in mind.
Boy.
They have ghouls in several organizations, and as Kevin listed them off by name, that is when he mentioned the Arcanum as one of the afflicted orgs.
I think it makes quite a lot of sense for a high-ranking vampire to want a ghoul within the Arcanum. To make sure they can redact any research that comes a bit too close to breaching their...
Yeah, which should potentially tell us about the book burning stuff a bit more. If I remember right, I've heard that the Arcanum actually had their books burned a lot early on when they held a bit too much information about vampires, which is why they became a bit more restrictive about that stuff.
Masquerade.
Yes, and by that logic, this ghoul has to be fairly new, given that we never discovered them whilst in the Arcanum's employ.
Yup, which should also rule out Git, Spit, and Brockham,
Is that
considering how even Grimmel didn't recognize them.
a certainty, Sadi?
Well, of course! One of my primary duties while on staff was guarding against such infiltration. But if you seek more compelling proof, you'll note our scholarship on the vampiric was never redacted whilst we were there.
Wait, hold on. If they, for whatever reason, couldn't get rid of our scholarship whilst we were members, could the ghoul have been involved in getting us banned from the Arcanum?
That would have been easy. Remold Blacklaw had been lobbying for our ban since the day we came, after all. And it's...
Honestly, it'd be kind of interesting if it turned out Remold was the ghoul, but was dominated. Though I doubt he is. He just has too many clear alibis for him to be the ghoul. Unless something else is going on.
like we respected the Arcanum's rules all that much.
Most of us, at least.
Your point is pointed, though. It means the ghoul might well have existed alongside us, even back then. Nevertheless, this is a side tangent. Further along in the interview, Kevin went ahead and mentioned the Hunter data. Some kind of evil, fucked up data computer hypertech that immediately injects the names, age, and location of all hunters in East Anglia directly into your brainstem!
Didn't you refer to it as a floppy disk earlier?
Yeah? I would assume it's...
D does not seem to understand what floppy disks are or what they
Lots
do.
its way through my ear canal or something. Evil worm, the computer is the devil! As I was saying.
Evil worm, wonder if that's a reference to the worm. Probably is, bit of foreshadowing.
The hunter data is, of course, top priority for vampires of any stripe. Should they acquire it, they would know the location and identity of all hunters in the region.
Bloody hell. With that sort of data, they could wipe the lot of us out. Why the hell would you keep something like that?
Blame the Coalition. Under their watch, power and influence over the unaligned hunters will always be a higher priority than their security.
What idiots! I can start to see why you're so fervently anti-authority, Sadi.
Excellent! We'll make an enemy of the state of you yet!
Probably
wouldn't go
not.
that far.
Unless this is foreshadowing.
Atlas! Kevin first learned of the data when he was still part of polite vampire society.
The Camarilla, yeah?
Yes. Did you learn that name during the interview?
They kept bringing it up alongside something called Anarchs and their own Sabbat membership.
And this, I have to guess, is going to further convince Dee that he's doing the right thing by having them learn themselves.
That's what I mean when I say practical learning. You'll always get better information out of the local ne'er-do-wells than you ever will from my generalized understanding. But yes, he first learned of it as part of the local Camarilla. But then learned more whilst hanging out with Piotr, as apparently the Sabbat had a spy within another org that works with the Arcanum. Allegedly, they finished compiling.
I wonder if that spy is, okay, we've seen a few of the Hunter orgs that work with the Arcanum. I wonder which one it is. We don't have enough information to say for sure, but it'd be interesting if one of the orgs that showed up is the one that has the Sabbat spy. Especially considering how, the Camarilla is, or at least the Tremere, are working with Pentex, who are working with the Coalition, but the Sabbat are enemies of the Camarilla, which means we could potentially see a big fight between some other Sabbat, Pentex, Camarilla, just big three-way, especially counting the Hunters and Werewolves or something. I have heard theories that, I think even in the comments, that the Werewolves might end up in a situation where they have to work with Big D, like maybe the Pentex guys attack and force them to work together to survive, and that'd be how they team up. It's kinda about the only way I could see a team up happening at this point.
Data
Still not sure about it.
So the Ghoul is going to be after that data, but it's likely locked within the Arc.
Definitely think D's a bit, like a comment said, this shows that D's knowledge is not complete because the Camarilla don't really go after hunters, they more manipulate them into going after vampires they don't like.
So it won't be easy to get at.
I can't imagine the Ghoul is in any particular rush if they're a more permanent resident. I can only imagine them getting a bit panicky when we hit the scene. And depending on how they respond, we will respond in kind.
Hopefully we can get through this without wanton violence.
Well,
Now, your room, was it?
yes, quick! Quickly! Yes, quick! I love my room.
I've been meaning to ask, how did you get that bronze horse statue in here?
Ah, yes, the horse of Saint Mark. You see, it's actually made of copper rather than... Wait! Shh. In here.
Sir, this... how have I never seen this? Also, isn't it
Yeah,
dangerous
Kitten's freak out is once again very understandable.
to put a ladder in a chimney?
Oh, what? We only burn evidence behind Horse's house anyhow. Now, quiet! Let us head up. Stop here.
Torch on. This is the attic, innit? You know, somehow I've never actually been up here. But
Shut up!
The attic.
Pressure washer attack!
Big D's Noble Phantasm. The only Archer class Noble Phantasm more powerful is Enuma Elish.
Goodness bleeding gracious, you blasted a hole in the roof cap!
Got away! Damn it!
Oh no, rain's leaking in.
Crawled into the walls!
Oh god, insurance won't cover this.
Kitten worrying about insurance when Dor will probably just fix it himself.
Not divest your attention in such worldly things, son-in-law! Did you see it? Or rather, them.
Now showing that the 8 legs wasn't 8 legs, it was 2 sets of 4 legs.
More than one?
2. And those creatures They were not rats.
What?
Here, trumpet! Of course!
What do you hear?
This started in the cellar, didn't it?
It did. That's where we first heard it. Or them.
I have a theory. Come with me! We head for the cellar!
Oh, God!
Here we go.
Stealth into the cellar!
Wait, watch the slippery! Step! Shit, Sadine!
Damnable ghost of pewter past! Would you look at that?
What's going on?
There is the pressure washer! Throw it down now!
Oh, shit, where is it?
You poor things!
Oh, it's up here! Sadine, catch!
Take this, you! But where did they go?
Hiding.
Did they go invisible?
No, they ran away at great speed before I could shoot. They could leap at us from any corner.
Shit!
Potentially
Sadie.
dangerous.
Blast the roof.
Oh yeah, like this is about the most raising of stakes you get in this episode, as well as showing Kitten's intelligence.
The pressure washer.
The roof?
Well, they hated the rain, didn't they?
Good point.
Have water sprout all over the room.
Your brain cracks at the seams. Let's make it rain. 3.
And also
two,
Kitten sacrificing
one.
his house
Pressure
again.
washer, go!
There, from the big pipe in the ceiling. They're leaping down!
Wait! What are they doing?
They're drinking the floor blood? No. Oh, no.
Which now explains how they became ghouls.
Oh, they're drinking ape's blood. Oh, God.
Ah! The clouds have cleared. These creatures have ghouled themselves.
Is that even possible? I'm so confused.
This is a highly unlikely scenario. A vampire's blood usually dusts after only a short while. But Ape was young enough that his vitae remained for longer than usual. But even so, I would have figured the potency of the leftover vitae would have gone by now. Yet it seems it was potent enough to have its effects last until today.
Poor things. They look miserable.
These creatures. I have never seen anything so pathetic in my life.
Well, they're certainly not rats.
Are they not?
Well, no, they're dogs. They're clearly dogs.
Yep.
Greyhounds.
Don't be so sure!
What?
They have drank the blood of the ape boy. Sometimes ghouls can suffer immediate consequences for their imbibement of a particular vampire's vitae. Banes and curses can come both mentally and physically. Look at these beasts. Abnormal, spindly legs, balding, spotty hide, curved abnormal backs, ears like skin flaps, eyes too big for their skulls, snaggled teeth, and this constant nervous shivering, but not snout deep, necks unnaturally
That seems
bent,
normal for dogs in the
looking
rain,
at that
honestly,
accursed
especially if there's
spill. They
thunder.
suffer a goulash of mutations! Carried from the drinking of the already highly volatile and beastly blood of the ape!
Sadie. These are clearly just normal greyhounds.
There is nothing normal about these goblinoids!
Greyhound owners say the same thing.
Not be so easily deceived! They could be, in
Also kind of explains their speed partly. Greyhounds are very fast dogs, so maybe they took to it particularly well, the speed stuff.
Rats! Predatory muntjacks, or... Of course! Ghoul, fey, creatures!
We are in too deep.
Look at these gremlin beasts. They shame themselves. No longer suited for the courts of the dreaming.
You're being mean somehow.
Sadly, we must kill them.
Sir.
If we pour epoxy into the vitae, we could make a rudimentary glue trap.
No.
Perhaps an asbestos bomb is in order?
No.
Fine. They are rather cute from a certain angle. Devilish little creatures. Therefore, I will simply and humanely slap at it.
We should take responsibility.
Is that not what I'm doing?
We owe these poor animals more.
And here is another key moment regarding, well, Big D's good side. We saw previously just how stubborn Big D could be in, like, multiple cases. And yet here, Kitten is outright able to convince Big D to do something, to change his mind on something, which is very impressive given his stubbornness, and also shows that Big D's mind can be changed about at least some things if worded right, and the right person talks to him, which is more than you'd think from his personality quite often.
Than this.
I hate this as much as you, son-in-law, but this is mercy. It is dangerous to keep them alive. Not only to us, but to themselves.
Why?
Why? Have I not elaborated enough on the why this evening? You have incensed me, son-in-law. Do not interfere.
Sir, you haven't really gotten to the why yet. Not really.
And here comes the
But
Marcus
I think
thing.
I know what it is. It's about your children. It's about Marcus.
As inquisitive as ever.
Just before you do anything to these dogs, answer this. Why are you keeping diablerie and now the mechanics of ghouling a secret?
I suppose I did want to tell you. So I will. I wish you to aid me in preventing Marcus from learning certain truths. Truths these creatures epitomize.
That's what I figured.
For the time being, at least, it must be kept sequestered. You know that ghouls can gain the powers of their dormitor. A fraction of it, but enough to make the ghoul stronger, faster, age far slower, and gain access to vampiric magics. Well, in the chapter house, we will, without doubt, be dealing with an abnormal ghoul, much like these. How abnormal? I cannot say. But their dormitor and regnant, as I have learned, is one of the most powerful vampires in Norfolk. Far outstripping even Diablo
Very much why Big D is very worried about this.
Piotr.
Well, I see where you're going with this. Marcus is brilliant in his search for optimization. The bloody steak jacket somehow worked to his credit. But do you really think he would stoop so low as to ghoul himself? I can't see that.
Him learning of diablerie from this experiment was a massive mistake. I could have prevented it, I recognize that. But the idea that humans can in essence diablerize vampires, preventing that knowledge from entering his highly eccentric mindset, is not too late. Marcus is willful, brash, and...
Yeah, and D is right about this, so... God. D, I think, is right to worry. I don't think that Marcus would go as far as ghouling himself like Kitten thinks. Like, I agree with Kitten on that, but I do think that D is right to be worried about Marcus. And like we saw in the pub scene, that D is at the very least right to hide some things from him. But at the same time, I think Kitten might be right that D is overblowing things a bit. D is also very worried about losing his son, so this is a situation where we can see where both of them are possibly right and wrong at the same time. Neither side of this argument is invalid.
Kitten stubborn! If he believes he can master Vampire Vitae without falling prey to its wiles, he will do it. And should he try, he will fail.
I'll be frank. If you believe these risks are that great, couldn't you just teach him about these dangers before he comes across them himself?
Marcus never lets danger stop him, even at the cost of a functioning brain. Just like his father. Hey, stop squirming!
Yeah, pointing out in a way how alike
Then
they
why let him
are.
hunt? If this information can be stumbled upon when hunting like this, why allow Marcus to carry out interrogations and, hell, even experiments on our quarry? If you really think it's that serious, why are you ever allowing him this kind of freedom?
It is not a matter of allowing him. He has chosen this path.
Yeah, D considers this Marcus's decision to make, but, well, under his guidance, of course.
As all my children who hunt have. And I am proud of him for it. In time, I shall shape Marcus into a hunter much like myself. I cannot deny that Marcus is already immensely powerful, and in sheer headstrong determination almost surpasses me. But in his pursuit...
Yeah, this should show how much D respects Marcus while also being aware of his flaws and weaknesses. D knows his children very well.
He hurts himself. Even if he is sat down and taught the risks of, say, imbibing Vampire Vitae. Would he really listen?
I think he would. I really do. At least talking to him would be worth a try.
You might not have noticed, but he sees vampires, what they can do, their power, and yearns for such power himself. He cannot help it. I can fully relate. Almost any hunter can. But that kind of power will damn him. And why would he care if it damns him? His damnation could save thousands. He thinks he can overcome such a curse and balance the scales, but that's hubris. And Marcus has yet to comprehend the true reality of damnation. Only once he discerns it for himself can he know the cost of that path. I was hoping...
Which shows D's reasoning for why he thinks they need to learn through experience. He probably wants Marcus to see a ghoul who's in a very bad situation by being a ghoul to scare Marcus away from it.
That, given the freedom to face them of his own accord, he would learn. But so far, he instead places blame on me for not serving theory to him, mushed up on a plate.
Okay. All right. All right. I feel you might be underestimating Marcus.
It is your privilege to believe that.
If whatever Kevin told you is true, then
D disagrees.
Marcus is already likely to see a person that he knows as a ghoul, potentially pulling whatever tricks they've got up their sleeves when cornered.
If it is so, I hope that, in itself, is the lesson that will get through to him. Beyond that, I do not think the ghoul possesses the time, will, or forethought to use any disciplines they may have in a constructive or terribly impressive fashion. Hopefully, this subject will be irrelevant.
Why do you think that? I mean, what will happen if the ghoul does fight back proper?
When the ghoul is found out, either through being starved into admission, or maybe even busted by Occam and his solar sorcery.
And this would serve as an establishment of solar sorcery for those who watch in chronological order of when they take place.
They might scramble and try to fight back. If they do, we will do what we do best. Pummel them into submission before they can act.
And if they're smart enough to use their powers constructively, what then?
Well, there are few things we can know with certainty about our ghoul. These will be our red truths, drenched in the blood of Kevin himself. Our ghoul's dormitory.
You know, that might be a reason why the blood reference isn't meant to be directly to death or killing in this case, but it's more like referencing how the Regnant is the one who turned her. But I could see Kitten potentially misinterpreting that as the saying he killed Kevin.
Regnant is the Tremere Regent of East Anglia. She's an immensely powerful blood sorcerer and is able to use a wide variety of disciplines. This also means our ghoul has a fair quantity of disciplines they could potentially have.
That is bad.
But this is something I have learned about the Regnant's favored ghouls, particularly those that work as spies. They only have what's useful for their roles. Sharpened senses, the power to bend minds, and, for a special few, blood sorcery. But for most, nothing at all. It is, I am told, considered an irrelevant investment to that most callous regent.
So in the worst case, nothing we haven't dealt with before then?
True!
Possibly.
However, you vex me with your concern, sway me to second-guessing myself.
He probably should, considering how bad things went, but there's no way Dee could have known that what was in there was worse than a vampire at the worst.
Is possible they have been granted another tool. There are certain policies, so-called drafts, that vampiric sorcerers can create with their vitae.
Mentioning it of them.
These drafts can give another vampire or...
Yeah, I wonder if the draft is, something that'll show up later and will end up being the case. Considering how it's here, it probably is some Chekhov's gun.
limited access to more powerful magics. If only for a short time.
Oh god.
These drafts are usually limited to disciplines of strength, speed, and endurance. But, and this is the kicker, here, as far as I know, unique to Norfolk, there is at least one more of these drafts. A draft of domination.
Very dangerous.
With just such a draft, a ghoul could perform even worse acts of mind chicanery. They could give victims complex orders that will be carried out without question. They could even order them to attack their friends and family.
Yeah, it's possible that Elise is the ghoul and dominated Grimmel, or maybe Harry or someone else, what dominated Grimmel into attacking Occam, like Remold ends up thinking.
These sound like incredible risks, should they be present during our operation.
We should be moderately wary. Yet the risk of this draft being present, I find, is not outweighed by the risk inherent to Marcus's knowledge expanding too far.
Sadi, sorry, but why are you so cavalier towards the threat of this ghoul compared to your worry over Marcus? What if the ghoul ends up a significantly larger threat than you're expecting?
My priorities are not that skewed. If it becomes relevant, I will have to
And he is very hesitant here.
give in and inform. Oh my god, I'm informing!
No, not again!
Sadi! Fine!
Oh,
You will
good.
have to help me clean up the inevitable mess! Not the vomit, the ghoul stuff.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yet even so, I am confident. No matter how powerful their master is, they've walked into the lion's den. They could never hope to defeat 5 prepared hunters, a Celtic martial artist, and a really bigoted Belgian. They have no hope, and frankly, I believe Remold will be a bigger threat to us than any ghoul. There will be enough suffering for this poor victim even before the grand reveal. I aim for a peaceful solution. I do genuinely hope we can help them in the end.
That is a wise choice, I will agree.
But same here,
With
generally.
that, sir, could we not please have the same fate go for these dogs? Look, you've just been holding them for this entire conversation and they've done nothing.
You have lured me into the glue trap of a moral conundrum! which I will utilitarianism my way out of. Prepare yourself, canine!
Okay.
Kitten is
If
able
you
to
are willing to
convince
kill
the...
these animals for the sake
But
of Marcus's
slowly.
continued ignorance, at least tell me, when do you think Marcus will be ready?
That is something I cannot tell you. Not yet.
In all honesty, sir, and sorry, I must be rather harsh here, you are being irrational. I can't see Marcus ever going as far as you are worried he might. I see a headstrong attitude, I see recklessness, and I see a want to one-up the opposition in creative and unexpected ways. But abusing vampire blood? No. What worries me far more is the fact that this secrecy of yours is creating rifts between you two. He doesn't trust you. He knows you are keeping things from him. I mean, you should know. He complains about it constantly.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, the
Worried.
rift forming between them is a really big plot point, and this is building up to it, to like their big fight later on.
Somewhat about our relationship as of late.
I think you should consider that perhaps what you're seeing here is a projection of yourself and your own failures.
Not a projection.
And this is the first bait and switch. You think that Dee's going to deny that Marcus is unlike him in this regard.
Reflection.
But then he says a reflection, basically outright confirming that he's had failures, potentially even worse than what he thinks Marcus would go through.
I see in him myself in my younger days. I see a dark future that can still be halted in its tracks. And I see that ghouldom is only the surface of an abyssal trench. One Marcus has already once stared into.
And now we get into the other backstory stuff.
What? I'm only making a mistake. I'm dehooked. All
Internal
right.
warfare.
Son-in-law, let me tell you the tale. It was 1988. Marcus was 12 years old. We were parked down in Norfolk Island, off the coast of Australia.
Norfolk Island?
Don't question it. On our exploration of the island
Yeah, lots of Norfolk, considering the North Virginia Norfolk as well.
locale,
Oh, and horse has a hat with Japanese letters. I think they're saying I'm a horse or something? I don't know.
we were dealing with the pernicious Fae. A bitter look.
Okay, so I don't really know much about Changing the Dreaming. From what I've heard of it, I kinda don't like it. And I think the summary of, in Changeling the Dreaming, you play as the true Fae, and in Changeling the Lost, you play as the Changelings, is fairly accurate from what I've heard. But people can correct me if that's incorrect, but still, I've seen a little bit of it, and I definitely prefer CTL.
Legend.
So don't expect me to say much about the lore here.
Interesting.
I like these beasts, but far more murderous. I shan't say much else specific, for the nature of the Fae is far beyond our current purview.
Far beyond.
Suffice to say, we were thrust into a net of intrigue and horror, with a sadistic Fae king at its center. We were, ultimately, forced to make a choice. The details are too awful to recount here in full, but in short, the only way to halt a heinous curse on the land would be to send one of our own to be a thrall of the king in his court for the next 40 years.
What? You mean... Oh,
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
this is what happened to
Fate.
Marcus's brother.
Don't say his name. Please.
I'm sorry.
And we can hear the pain in Dee's voice. This is a very good acting.
Marcus knew what was going to happen. And despite
And also is another reminder of just how dangerous the hunt is, both physically and psychologically.
his youth, in a bid to save his dear brother, he made a horrible mistake.
What on earth are you talking about, Sir D?
In his attempts to thwart this dark bargain, he believed he could make another. Marcus thought he was channeling a rival power in the Fey court. Instead, he made direct contact with something far, far worse. A dreadful alien presence. An unfathomable evil. It is beyond description, son-in-law. An outer force. Not a monster. Not a demon. A thing.
So, what the fuck is this thing? I don't know. Could be the worm, could be an aspect of it, could be something else, could be some spirit of space if such things exist. Maybe something connected to the moon, because it kind of looks like the tentacles are coming out of the moon. Hard to say. And I don't think we have enough information yet to know for sure.
I've never heard of this.
I know not how he did it. Perhaps through the
And this is also sort of feeding into the idea that Marcus might be a mage.
lore and the tools I left carelessly within his reach. Perhaps through his inherent sorcerous aptitude, I know not. But for a moment, just a moment, a connection was made. And the abyss, for a time, closed in around us.
The abyss?
Door, horse, Anton, we all moved quickly. Severed the ritual, severed the connection. But that entity, that thing, it is still out there, son-in-law.
Which is quite a horrifying thought.
Waiting, watching, hungering. Marcus's potential burns bright. You know this more than anyone. He can be the best of us.
More showcase of Dee's respect for Marcus.
The best of all of us.
Yeah, Dee
Yet,
genuinely thinks
same-
Marcus can surpass him someday, and he probably right and said, especially if Marcus is a mage.
Promise that can damn him lower than any other.
Definitely right about that, too.
Our plan to thwart the bargain failed because of that ritual. That day, I lost a son. It was not the first time. But it shall be the last. I shall not lose another. Never again! Never again!
Sir D.
Marcus will grow. He will flourish. He will reach the heights that await him. But he must do so with my guidance. Without it, he could be lost in ways you cannot fathom. Do you understand? Without my wisdom, he is doomed. Should he part the dark too quickly, it already waits to engulf him whole. It knows him. It knows my son. Know that as far as what the supernatural is, as far as what we must face, as far as the true horrors of reality are concerned, ghouls are specks of dirt at the tip of the froth on the surface of a trench so deep it is literally impossible for us to fathom.
Yeah, which should show you just how relatively weak ghouls are. There are few ghouls that are even as strong as a starting vampire, and there are things out there that make vampires look pathetic. yes, the supernatural is a big world, and a lot of people are in very deep shit in it.
Ghouls and vampires. The fight against them is integral to our reckoning. It lays the very groundwork for our whole operation. Make no mistake. But there are realities out there that are simply too far beyond you. And Marcus, in his youth, no less, caught a glimpse of the million eyes that stare from the bottom of that trench, and their gaze followed, even as he looked away.
Why has he never told me this?
Because he forgot.
Forgot? How?
That I cannot say.
I understand.
So, please, even if you cannot see it, please, just wait a little while longer before you say too much. Just a little more.
Goodness gracious.
Please, just say, how about... Yes, yes! The release of that video game you two keep nattering about. The one you are so excited about being released after 10 years in development.
Team Fortress 2?
Yes! Team Fortress 2! When it is released, I will talk to him. I swore I will even play it with you.
Will you?
I will play it, and as we video game play, running about in the virtual space, happy and sedated and content, I will tell him everything.
Okay,
That'd be a bit awkward. I don't quite think Dee realizes what he's doing there. Yeah, so, well, anyway.
But wait, the official release date or the beta release?
Yes! Let us...
Yeah, like, just imagine revealing the Ghoul stuff while trying to focus on an FPS. Dee probably thinks it's more like Gmod or something.
Shake on it!
No.
What?
Counterproposal. I will not tell Marcus anything until TF2 releases, as long as the dogs are left alive.
Really now?
I will lie to Marcus about what these little buggers are, as well as why they're here.
And what do you intend with them?
It is possible to wean someone off of being a ghoul, right?
Rosalia suffered through her life as a ghoul.
And Kevin did say that Guy Chapman could have, like, left it being a ghoul forever if he just held out a bit longer.
We tried to save her, but I failed. I hear that after our final goodbye, she got better. But I don't know how she managed it, because I divorced her and left Poland forever. She is celebrating 108 this year, I hear. And I'm very happy for her.
Wow. Good. That's great to hear. Then we have, well, something to work with.
Is it a deal then?
Sure is.
And that is why you are my number one son-in-law.
Not. Marcus is.
Yeah.
And all. And boy.
And Kitten giving these children the full credit
And-
here.
All the others.
Well,
I am happy being number one-in-law.
Well said.
And stupid alleged hounds whom are clearly fey beasts, welcome to the team. Fortress 2.
Hell yeah.
Well, until you manage to unhook yourselves, little skim nymphs, we are your dormitors. Huh? After all, we're the ones providing the goods.
Oh, God.
Listen, new grandchildren.
Sorry?
You will live in the attic. Any other vermin who enters this house, barring Mr. Smarples the cat, oh goodness, I do hope you all get along, you will either chase out, eat, or forced to join your pack. A pack loyal to our family.
And Dee is already thinking of creating an army.
Right, okay.
Come, let us show Marcus his new attic children.
Wait, what?
Marcus, wake up! You're a parent now! Congratulations!
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I'll just when I think I start to understand things, I better put this stuff in bags, I guess.
Doggy bags, I suppose.
Oh, it's sticky.
Thank you for watching, everyone, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe.